Uh, Give an example from your life of how you achieved an objective.
Well, there were a couple times in my life where I was pretty overweight, and I started to notice, and I was just like, I don't want to be this way, and I cracked down and stopped eating whenever I wanted food, not whenever I was hungry. And I managed to bring myself back down just through willpower.
Okay. What happens when you think you're going to fail but you actually succeed?
I celebrate.
Why is creative expression important to you?
Creative expression is how, it's how, that's how people's real minds come out when they express themselves creatively in whatever they're doing. Like, in how they write, or the situations they can create in their heads. Like, somebody can be insanely quiet, but once they get doing something they like, they just show this completely, like, everything in their mind comes spilling out on this project that they're working on, and they get to show how they really are.
Give an example of an obstacle you experienced and how did you overcome the obstacle?
Were there any obstacles when you were filming Mystic Travelers at any point?
I guess it was in a classroom environment, so our budget was $0. So we had to bring stuff in and take the set elements we had and design it in a way to where just the same 10 things needed to look like 4 different rooms. And we managed to do it.
Okay. List the things that you can bring to the table that define your uniqueness.
I think I've always been pretty creative and empathetic towards people. More empathetic than most, because I've noticed that as people get older, you tend to lose that empathy for the people younger than you. That's why, like, every generation dislikes the generation below it. They've just forgotten what it was like to be young, and every generation grows up under different circumstances. So you need to try and hold on to that empathy.
Okay. What has been your source of inspiration?
I read a lot as a kid. I would get in trouble for reading for reading too much, for reading in class. And all those stories would fill my head, and my imagination would run off, and I would create all these characters and situations for that to be in, and that's what led me towards the creative field as a career.
What kind of voice field would you like to get into, and why?
I think all of it interests me. I would really like to do anything in animation, like I love anime. And cartoon type shows would would I think it'd be fun to create those characters and those voices and
Mhm.
just, throughout the vocal range, just creating different voices.
And just sort of reenact them, kind of thing. Yeah. If you couldn't get into this field, what would you be doing, do you think?
I would be doing art. That's what I was doing before I decided I wanted to be a voice actor, and I would be. And I've been drawing since I was little,
Mhm.
and I again I loved creating characters in these situations, and and I'd be probably doing something like animation for video games.
Okay. And can you think of the initial moment when you decided you wanted to be in this field?
I've been complimented over a lot of my life on my voice, and I just kind of brushed it off. Like, people would always tell me, like, oh, you have a good radio voice. And I was just like, okay. And, but then as I got older, I found out, I mean, it's obvious, but it's obvious that people were behind the voices, but I became more aware of that there was a whole field that was dedicated to just creating the voices behind everything that you hear, and I'd be really passionate about creating something like that, and it would be a job that I would really enjoy.
Okay. And coming back to it a little bit, like a new skill you learned, it may be anything involving art, like it could be like,
Using an editing program or anything?
yeah.
Had you used Adobe Audition before?
Not really.
So that's something
I-
you did recently, right?
Yeah, I had done very, very limited things in Adobe Audition, so learning where things actually are and how to well, I mean, it's similar to other editing software,
Sure.
so I picked it
Sure.
up pretty quickly, but it's
It's got some more bells and whistles.
yeah,
Yeah.
and learning where those are and
Right.
how they work to put audio together
Hmm.
as opposed to video is different.
Yes.
Okay. And we can come back to this one too. What happens when you think you're going to fail but you actually succeed?
I am relieved, and I feel like if I feel like I'm gonna fail at something, it comes more from not being confident in my ability to do that thing rather than me actually messing up in trying to achieve that. So succeeding when I believe I'm going to fail serves to boost my confidence and help me realize that, oh, I could actually do this thing.
Oh, all right. Thank you.
Thank you very much.